Hello everyone, Douglas here, and welcome to my Doctor Who review, and today I will be reviewing The Idiot's Lantern. This story is the second story to be written by Mark Gatiss, and this is the last story he would write for a while, and we will see his stories in the Stephen Moffat era. This story is a mixed bag. Some fans say this is the worst Doctor Who story, and some say this is a good Doctor Who story. Our cold open scene begins at Magpie's shop, and it's raining, and we see Mr. Magpie, played by Ron Cook, and we see a woman played by Maureen Lipman. We are at a house, and we see Tommy Connery, played by Rory Jennings, and we see his dad, Annie Connery. We see red lightning strikes the TV antenna, and the woman is back on, and it's The Wire. And I do like the shot from inside the TV. We see The Wire is sucking Mr. Magpie's face off. Our opening scene begins, and we see the TARDIS has already landed, and we see Rose, played by Billie Piper, and I do love her dress. We see the 10th Doctor, played by David Tennant, and he drives a scooter out of the TARDIS. You can tell Rose picked up a lot from the Doctor, and she is cocky. We find out the Doctor and Rose are going to see Elvis on the Ed Sullivan Show, and we find out the Doctor got the location wrong. We find out the Doctor and Rose are in 1953, and this is the year of Queen Elizabeth's coronation, and this story takes place 70 years ago. By the time I am doing this video, and a lot of things have changed. The TV evolved, and Queen Elizabeth had died last year. We see two men in black suits are taking someone away, and we find out from Tommy that the people are turning into monsters. We see the Doctor and Rose are going after the men, and the men go behind a red gate. I like the Doctor's line when he says, "Men in black, vanishing police cars, this is Churchill's England, not Stalin's Russia." We see Mr. Magpie made a portable TV for the Wire. We see Tommy has a key to the bedroom, and we see him get busted by his dad. We hear a doorbell rings, and it's the Doctor and Rose. I love how the Doctor just roasts Eddie, and he says the housework is a woman's job, and the Doctor says this to Eddie. And are you suggesting the Queen does the housework? We see Rita Connery, played by Deborah Gilt, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing this, asks the Doctor to help her mom. I like the Doctor's line when he says, "And I'm not listening." And I love how the Doctor tells Eddie off, and we hear the noise upstairs. We see Tommy takes the Doctor and Rose upstairs, and we see the grandma, and the grandma is faceless, and that is great makeup. We see the men in black suits are back, and they take the grandma. We see Rose notices the red lightning on the TV. We see the Doctor goes after them, and Rose sees the red lightning is plugged in to the output, and it's gone. We see the Doctor arrives at the gate, and we see the Doctor is sneaking in. We see the Doctor sees the faceless people in a cage, and that is creepy that he gets surrounded. We see the Doctor gets caught by the men in black. We see Rose is at Magpie's shop. We see Rose notices the Wire. I love how Rose busts Mr. Magpie, and she got him red-handed. And we see Rose notices the Wire is talking to Rose, and her face gets sucked off. We see the Doctor is getting interrogated. We find out that one of the men in black is Detective Inspector Bishop, played by Sam Cox. We see the Doctor is teaming up with Bishop and finding out the source of this. We see the Doctor finds out that Rose's face is gone, and you can tell by his face that he is full of rage. And we hear Torchwood. I love the doctor's line when he says, "Because now, Detective Inspector Bishop, there is no power on this earth that can stop me." We see the coronation has arrived. We find out that Eddie was the one that called the police on Grandma. I like Eddie's line when he says, "You think I fought a war just so mousy little scum like you could call me a coward?" We do see Rita overhears this. I do love Rita's line when she says, "We've had a ruddy monster under our roof, all right, but it weren't my mother." We see Tommy goes with the doctor and Bishop. We see the doctor, Tommy, and Bishop see the faces of the missing people, including the grandma and Rose. I love how the doctor just blasts his rage at Mr. Magpie, and we see all three of them notices the wire. We find out from the doctor that the wire feeds off the electrical activity of the brain, but it gorges itself like a great overfed pig, taking people's faces, their insurance as it stuffs itself. We see the wire is sucking all three of the faces off. We see the doctor has a sonic screwdriver, and she thinks he is armed, and Bishop's face is gone. We see the wire goes into the portable TV, and he drives off. We see the doctor and Tommy wake up, and they go after Mr. Magpie. We see Mr. Magpie has arrived at Alexander Palace. We see Mr. Magpie is climbing the TV antenna, and we see the doctor goes after him, and we see Mr. Magpie plugs in the portable TV, and the wire's plan begins, and she begins sucking everyone's face off. We see the wire kills Mr. Magpie. I love the doctor's line when he says, "Never shows, swear by them." We see a fuse blew up, and Tommy replaces it, and Tommy plugs something in, and he reverses it, and the wire is defeated. We see the faceless people got their faces back. I love the doctor's line when he says, "I just invented the home video 30 years earlier." We see Rita kicks Eddie out of the house. We see Tommy sees his dad, and he says, "Good riddance." We see Rose tells Tommy to go after him, and she tells him that he's his dad. And we see Tommy goes after him. We see the doctor and Rose drink some juice, and that is the end. I will say, this is a good story, and as a kid I liked it, and I thought it was good, but watching this again for the first time in years, it is still good. I will say, I did find the wire annoying when he says, "Hungry and feed me," but she is a scary villain. I do like 1950s Britain, and that is a great setting for this story, and the BBC had good production values in this story. You do have a good mystery in this story as well. What happened to the people's faces? I will admit, David Tennant does give a good performance in this story, and he does amp up his rage. The script by Mark Gatiss is good, and the direction by Euros Lyn is good, and I will give The Idiot's Lantern a 9 out of 10. So, that is my review of The Idiot's Lantern. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel, and I will see you next time for my review of The Impossible Planet and The Satan Pit.